Today marks 29 days since Umazwi went missing. Now guys, if you have been following the story, you will know why it makes me so angry. Like, you will know why it makes my blood boil. So I'm going to refer to Umazwi as is and not was, because I do not want to refer to him as no longer alive, or I want to believe that he's going to be found, and that it's only a matter of time until he's found. So to those that do not know the story, basically Umazwi is a 27-year-old, right, based in Vosloorus, and he is a spaza shop owner, right? He has a spaza shop in Vosloorus, and he went missing because of that spaza shop. So basically what happens is that Umazwi sleeps over at his sister's place, right? Because his sister's place is close to the mall, right? It's Good Friday. It's the 1st of April, and he wants to go and deposit money tomorrow, being the 2nd of April. He wants to go deposit money into the account of whoever he was paying rent to for the spaza shop. So he wanted to go deposit his rent money, right? He sleeps over at his sister's place. The following morning, he wakes up. Him and his sister have a chat. He gets ready. His sister makes him lunch. He packs the lunch. He takes his laptop, and so that morning he's in very good spirits. Like Umazwi, I just want to add that he was in very good spirits. He tells his sister that, you know what, his girlfriend finally got a job, so he's happy, like he's in good spirits. She leaves first. She goes to work and she leaves Umazwi locks up and then leaves. Okay, fine, no problem. The day goes on. In the afternoon, when Umazwi's sister comes back from work, she notices that his spaza shop is closed. And this is very weird for her, because it's not like Umazwi to just randomly close a spaza shop. Also, considering that it's the 2nd of April, it's Easter weekend, people are just like, people have gotten paid. Like, so what she does is that she calls his friends, right? She calls his friends, like, have you guys seen Umazwi? His friends, we haven't seen Umazwi. His friends haven't seen Umazwi. She calls Umazwi's girlfriend, right? The girlfriend says, I have not seen Umazwi. However, so this is what the girlfriend tells Umazwi's sister. She says that these past couple of days, Umazwi has actually been telling me about a very weird thing that's been happening. So every single day outside his shop, there would be a car that has Somalian people inside it, and it would just park outside his spaza shop every single day for weird hours, like 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, for long periods of time. This car would just park outside his spaza shop, and they wouldn't talk to him. When one would come out of the spaza shop, it would just be there. So the first day it first happened on a Monday, right? And he noticed it, but he didn't think anything much of it. He was like, okay, whatever. Tuesday it happens again. Okay, this is getting weird, but on Wednesday, this is when he was like, something is definitely up. This is when he was like, okay, you know what, I'm starting to feel nervous, something is up, because this car did not just sit outside the spaza shop for a long period of time. It sat outside the spaza shop for the whole day, from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. until he was about to close up the shop. That car that had Somalians in it was outside his spaza shop, just there, like just literally watching him, not doing anything. Okay, cool. So the girlfriend tells her sister that, you know what, he told me about this, So because Sister Umazwi had an extra key to the spaza shop, she then decides to open the spaza shop. And when she goes in, you can tell that Umazwi was not here at all, because he had a bag, right, which had his lunchbox and his laptop. She was like, he would have left it here and then gone to the mall. He was going to leave his stuff here and then go to the mall to deposit. He was not going to go with the bag to the mall. So she finds this strange. Like, so this proves to her that Umazwi did not even make it to his shop. He did not make it to his shop that morning, which is very weird. So then also there's a camera, like, which shows not too far from the house, the sister's house, not too far from the spaza shop, there's a house that has a camera, and this house's camera shows that he did not even make it to the main road where he would get a taxi to then go to town. So not only did he not make it to his spaza shop to open up and leave his bag, but he did not also make it to the mall where he was going to deposit money. He did not make it to the mall, nor did he even open up his spaza shop that morning that he went missing. So now the sister's starting to get worried because this is weird. She goes to the police, she opens a missing persons case, and yeah, sure. So the following day when she returns to the police station, they tell her that, actually, there's actually a syndicate at Vosloorus. There's a syndicate of foreign nationals, and what they do is that they basically force shop owners to sell their shops to them, and if they refuse or whatever, they abduct them. So there's basically a syndicate of these foreign nationals in Vosloorus. So they tell the sister that, and they're like, yeah, so that's it. So okay, cool. Now investigations are underway, So I'm not sure when it was, but a couple of days back, they actually did a search. So they did a search. So for them to actually do that search, what happened was that the sister gets a call from someone, and she says that, I had a dream about Umazwi, and in this dream he was in this specific place, right? And then the sister says, okay, and also this lady does not know her, does not know who she is, like it's literally a total stranger. She says, I had a dream that Umazwi was at this specific place. And then they go, they get the police, they get the search team, they go to this place and they search this place, but they don't find anything. But the sister says that she feels strongly about that place, like she feels very strongly that there's something about that place. When I saw in the videos and on the news, it's like I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it's like bushes and stuff and all that stuff. So then she said that she feels like very strongly about this. So when the sister decides, let's go to this place, she takes her brother and people that were willing to help, and they go to this place that she got an anonymous call about. And as they're going to that place, right, so they didn't find anything at that place. Remember, they searched, they didn't find anything. But then when they were there was this Somalian guy that was driving, and the sister says that she locked eyes with this guy for some weird reason. She locked eyes, and there was just something about him. So she says, to the brother, let's follow this guy. Like, she does not know what she's doing, but she's like, let's follow him. There's something weird about this guy. They follow the guy. Now this guy starts doing something weird. As he notices Bana he's being followed, he starts speeding. Now the sister starts calling the police. She starts calling for help, but then the police, of course, do not arrive immediately. But that was a very weird thing. This was a Somalian individual, and even the way that he looked at the family when they were at that place, searching whatever, and when they left in the leaving, and then they clocked eyes, he starts speeding and they never see him again. But that was a very weird thing, because why did he lock eyes with the sister, and why was he at that specific location that she got a tip of that Umazwi could be there? And also it's so sad that the sister was actually scammed a few days back. Someone called and said, we have Umazwi. Is Umazwi your brother? We have him. You have to pay this much. And the sister emptied her account only for that to turn out as a scam, which just makes me realize that people are so cruel. Because why would you scam someone that is already in desperate need, that is desperately trying to find their brother? Like, guys, people are just so cruel. But anyways, this whole story has made me so angry, because what do you mean? What's being said is that these foreign nationals had actually approached Umazwi and said, sell us your shop, sell us your shop. Your shop is, so Umazwi's shop was at the corner of the street, and it was situated at a place that is very busy. So Umaz would get a lot of customers. His business was actually thriving, right? His spaza shop was thriving. So then these Somalians are like, sell us that spaza shop, sell it to us, we'll pay you. Oh yeah, they said they'll pay him 4 months of rent up front. And Umazwi refused. Sorry, he said, I'm not selling this spaza shop. It's not up for sale. I do not want to sell it. I do not want to sell it. Sorry. And they kept persisting, sell us the spaza shop, to the point where now they actually resorted to doing that, the weird stuff like following him, parking outside his spaza shop for hours and watching him and all that stuff. And it's so crazy to me, because I, as a South African citizen, born and bred, I'm telling you that I do not want to sell my shop, my bread and butter. I do not want to sell it. And then you, as a foreign national, have the nerve to first almost like threaten me, persuade me to sell the spaza shop. And when I don't agree, you then resort to forcefully abducting me. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. I really feel like we're not angry enough as a country. Like I feel like we're not angry enough, because when did it get to a point whereby foreign nationals feel like they have so much power over us? When, like, how does it get to a point where you can tell me how, where, and when to open my spaza shop or to open my business? Because also now people are also coming out saying that they've actually been also threatened by Somalians or other foreign nationals, you know, threatening them for opening businesses like salons or whatever. So now it's like these people feel like they can control what we do in our, like in our country, in our classes. They have the power to tell us where and when and what we can do. Guys, like, if you've been following the story, like, yeah, no, it makes me so angry. And I really pray and I hope so much that Umazwi is found safe. He better be found safe, because if he's not found safe, he better be found safe, because there's no ways. A South African national, he was only 27, is trying to make ends meet, and he's doing it in a proper way. He's not stealing or anything. And then you have the nerve to then force him to sell his shop, and when he does not agree, you then kidnap him. Yeah, no, guys, this story really made me so angry. But you know what? May we continue to pray for Umazwi's safe return.
Bafowethu kuthiwa uMazwi Khubeka ufumanekile. Nizawukhumbula mos into yoba kunalomfana ke kwathiwa uye walahleka uNyamalele ona 27 kwicala lase Vosloorus, lo wenze into yoba makugqunge iSouth Africa yonke ibhonge. Apho ke kwathiwa umfana khona uye wavula ispaza shop, yakhona into engathi isolisa abantu bokufika, ngoba kuthiwa uye wahoriswa ngongathi makavale ispaza shop sakhe ngomhla ka2 kaApril wanyamalala umfana. Njoba namhlanje kuyi2 kaMay 2026 ikhona into ethi ufumanekile uMazwi. Andidli ncam ke ngokuthanda ukuletha information engaphelelanga into yoba ufumaneka ekwimeko enjani, ingabe uright na. Andikabi nazo ncam iinkcukacha eziphelele, kodwa nje sibonga nje le esisayivile kwethutyana kwelixesha uba ngaba ufumanekile uMazwi. Bafethu niyayibona into yoba xa singabambana as South Africans ninzi into esingayilungisa phezweni lethu. As soon as ndifumana enye information e-updated malunga nomcimbi kaMazwi, ndizaphinde ndiyibuyise ndizoyishare. Praise the Lord. Okubalulekile into yoba ufumanekile. Siyabulela South Africans. Asibambeni net kanjalo.
Mazwi Malelo Khubeka, who is currently at the police station at Vosloorus. It's currently at the police station. So those are some of the issues, as I've indicated, that we're trying our level best. He made himself available. Currently, they are still interviewing him, and of course, we follow the due processes in ensuring that some of the processes is to make sure that when we get the alleged victim who is missing or kidnapped, you have to make sure that there has to be some process in terms of the medical process.
Hello good people, welcome back to this channel. If you are new here, please make sure you do the right thing. You press that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Good people, please comment your thought below. Tell us what do you think after watching this video, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Kulungile, bye. See you on the next one.